Well, maybe for a couple of minutes, and just to kind of to finish.
Go ahead. Yeah, we'll finish.
Well, just to finish up, I mean, the one in the. So we talk about sexism always bums me out because it feels like, especially in 2016, which is the oldest the human race has ever been. This is the furthest we've come so far. We should be getting past a lot of this stuff. We're slowly getting past. Well, actually, we're not really over anything. We're not over racism. We're not over classism. We're not over sexism. But we are becoming less violent and less divisive about those things as opposed to previous epochs in our history. And one of the cool developments of this games, and it's been in the news for the last several years, but this is the one where it's starting a little bit more attention, are female women athletes from Muslim majority countries who are competing covered up. There was a cool picture. I don't remember what country it was from, but it was I think it was a Brazilian beach volleyball woman in the bikini that they all wear. All the women athletes competing against a woman from a Muslim majority country. That it was form fitting because you have to be able to. You can't necessarily play volleyball in a niqab, but it was form-fitting, but her hair was covered, her arms were covered to the wrist, her legs were covered until about the mid-calf, around to the ankle, and she was competing in this beach volleyball thing. And I was struck by how encouraging it was, because a lot of controversy was coming from the IOC, from different sports organizations about we can't have these head coverings, it's not safe, and it felt a little bit discriminatory. It felt a little bit sexist in that regard, that women who feel more comfortable covered up or feel more comfortable wearing more in that situation were being sort of criticized for that. And so you have both sides of the spectrum, and I think that the right balance to strike is, what do you feel comfortable in individually? If you're comfortable wearing a bikini, there's nothing wrong with wearing a bikini. If you feel more comfortable being covered up, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as the competition is fair and so forth.
Yeah, I think that's great, because one time I walked out. Borat in that bikini he wears. Lefty has one of those, except his is red. I walked out front. He was sunning himself. Oh, well, red. Everybody will notice that I got a little scar above my eye. I passed out, It faded to red because I wore it so much. It used to be bright neon tangerine orange. Right. Speaking of orange, let's talk about the presidential race just for a couple of minutes. So you weren't in town. We had a great show with Representative Heifel, and then after the RNC, you Skyped in after the DNC, and we were talking about the respective bounces and stuff. And if you tuned in after the RNC with Representative Heifel and me, I was a little bit nervous because Donald Trump had pulled even and was leading in a couple of polls, and then that evaporated through just, I think, probably the natural way that people respond to conventions, but also he's had a bad couple of weeks, Doc. Yeah, it's been a concerted effort on the media part to destroy him, which that's what they do.
But he still says this stuff. I mean, this is the irritating part of this argument, because the media having a concerted effort to destroy him, they're reporting what he is saying. If he wasn't saying this stuff, they wouldn't be reporting it. So.
Well, and I agree, and I'm not saying that it's just after Donald Trump. I mean, they're going after Hillary too. I mean, I don't know why the left doesn't like Hillary that much. I have no idea, because she's a big old left winger. The thing is he needs to refocus his campaign. He needs to be focusing on Hillary Rodham Clinton. He doesn't need to be taking on Mr. Khan and his dead son. I find it very interesting that liberals, who very rarely ever use the Constitution, are running around with the Constitution, waving it at Donald Trump's face. And I'm just like, don't get me wrong, but Gary Johnson's looking better and better. And the truth of the matter is Donald Trump needs to remain focused on his opponent. And his opponent's Hillary Rodham Clinton. And he doesn't. He gets so distracted by minutia and stuff that's just stupid.
Well,
and the other
she
thing
pegged him. She pegged him. She defined him. The point from her DNC speech. Any guy that you can bait with a tweet shouldn't be trusting the nuclear codes. I mean, it's a canned line. It's everyone loves it. I kind of think it's a little bit too easy, but it's true.
You're right.
And the Democrats have been baiting him every chance they get. Barack Obama. Do you think that for 1 second that Barack Obama coming out and doing an unprecedented thing for a sitting president to criticize the other party's presidential nominee? I mean, it's happened. Remember, Ronald Reagan and H.W. came out against David Duke way back in the late 80s when he was running, but he was running for governor of Louisiana, which is weird in and of itself to comment in a state race. But for the sitting president to come out against the other party's nominee and say he's unfit and to criticize as harshly as he did, you can't tell me for 1 second that wasn't at least 75% to see what Donald Trump would do with it. And he responded as exactly what they wanted him to do. Yeah, he lost his mind over it.
Yeah, and he has to be focused.
Do you think he has it? Do you think he has it in him?
Yeah, I think he does. But I mean, well, look at it. Look at some of the people he's got around him, and I think this Paul Manafort is not going to be his best. I don't think Paul Manafort's helping him out.
No,
I don't think so.
But here's my question though, because Paul, the way that the narrative was structured on Paul Manafort is that here now we have a professional, but I don't think Donald Trump's listening to him, because I think he listens to his family and that's about it.
Well, and I would probably agree with that, but the fact remains, Donald sits there and goes, "I'm not a loser." Pal, you're losing
big,
and you're losing because of your natural tendency not to remain focused on something. Your target is not this con fella. It's not Gary Johnson. It's not Obama. It is Hillary Rodham Clinton. She's got enough baggage for the entire group, right? And so do you. Start focusing on that. The other thing that I find that's very interesting is Gary Johnson is going to have a seat at the debates. They're putting a third podium in. That's what I read this morning.
Yep, they're exploring it. He's getting close.
They're exploring that.
Yep,
and I'm like, well, because he's shot right up in the polls.
Yep.
The problem is these polls don't reveal who he's taking his people from.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah,
it's just like Ross Perot back in '92, where after the post-mortem, the exit polling data showed that he drew pretty much equally from both H.W. and Clinton, and Gary Johnson about the same kind of thing. Do you think that Jill Stein is going to get to where she needs to be make it a four-way race? I don't think so. I think she's too late.
Yeah, I would agree with that. She just too late, not enough support. I don't think a lot of people know who she is. Gary Johnson, at least within the Libertarian community. Know who he is.
Well, and I think he might be close to being on the ballot in all 50 states. I don't know if he is. I don't know if he is on all 50 at this point, but he's close. And the Libertarian's got a little bit more infrastructure. Although, I got to say, like, what's so frustrating to me about the people that are for Gary Johnson or for these third-party candidates, listen, I appreciate that. I think a robust debate is a better debate. But how about we build a little bit of local infrastructure? How about we start running some libertarians for dog catcher or for school board or for state representative?
Well, they lose.
Well, they don't run them though. I mean,
they don't run a lot of them.
They don't. They come out of the woodwork every 4 years because the presidency is the biggest podium. You're not going to win the presidency without a party behind you, and now there's not a party behind him.
Well, and that's true. But we've talked about this before. Libertarians don't give money. Lee Heeb was on here twice.
Yeah,
and we talked to her about running for dog catcher, which is governor here in Iowa.
Yeah.
So we're up. We burned another show.
We did.
I was dead tired at the beginning, and now I feel refreshed, so I at least can make it.
We might as well go 2 hours, right?
Maddie, can you go 2 hours?
No.
She's like, no, I can't take it. You playing anywhere this week?
Yeah, I'm going to be at Blue Moon on Wednesday. But we just want to, so everybody come out for that. But we want to thank all of our sponsors once again. We want to thank Maddie Kane, our producer extraordinaire,
Maddie,
who is the best at making us sound okay, and which is a feat by in and of itself. So Don, I mean, what do you got? You got anything to plug?
No, I'm doing good. We got the fair coming up, so we're not going to be out there. So if you're out there, don't expect to see us. So
that's true.
We don't go because we get enough of that in our offices.
Yeah, well, we're going to be dealing with the fallout of the fair here in about 2 weeks.
Oh yes, that's true. All right, thanks everybody tuning in. We'll be back next week.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Shaw, and I love these guys, both of them.
Love these guys. Get over here. Love both of them.